What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to do another WNBA slate breakdown for the 3-game WNBA slate we got today. Before I get into that, yesterday we only had one game, had a showdown slate. I did the video breakdown for it. If you guys caught that, then you guys should have cashed because I covered everything on the slate. Lo and behold, look at it. Freaking, I had takedowns in not only I want to say this was a $1 contest. Yeah, the $1 contest. I think this was like a 10 cent, 25 cent. This one, I didn't max enter the $15 showdown, but if I did, I would have actually took first, second, fourth, and a couple other spots in there. But overall, period, it was a great day, and we're seeing this actually like kind of back to back, at least once a week, getting takedowns left and right, whether it's showdown, the regular slate, things like that. It's really been popping. I hope that these videos are actually helping you just like they're helping me. And honestly, I put out a core yesterday for the showdown too. I put it up on the Patreon on our Google Doc sheet. If you have access to the Patreon, you have access to that sheet. And this is what my core was in right here. In these main ones, my core was in all of these for that I multi-entered as well. Just rotating through the captains and stuff like that. But overall, it was a phenomenal day. Banked over $400 off of just playing showdown, and that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm not playing. I'm not touching nothing else. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna sit back on the winnings. Get ready for today's slate, which I'm excited to go ahead and break that down because we got a pretty good banger. It's a 3-game slate. If you guys are wanting the cores and you guys are wanting to see more stuff like that, besides my stuff, BK stuff, all the stuff we got going out for golf, esports, MLB, all those things, check down the link in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you will make that back within your first week. I literally just made back what tenfolds in regards to $10 off of the content that we're putting out. And I mean, just including these breakdowns, even if you don't want to sub to the Patreon, subscribe to the channel so you guys aren't missing the breakdowns, because I am giving out some pretty good knowledge, and it'll help you build a very decent lineup if you're just listening to the stuff that I'm putting out, and just have some knowledge in regards to DFS itself. So with all that being said, besides you guys smashing that subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of these videos and hitting the like to let me know that you're enjoying the content, let's get into today's breakdown. We got a 3-game slate. The Dream taking on the Sun. Looking at it, it's the same injuries that we have for the Dream, like we have been seeing for the past couple weeks. Nothing new to report. Same thing for the Suns. Looks like they're all healthy and they're good to go. Couple of days off, some good rest and some practice is all that they needed. The Fever, same thing for them. Looks like right now projected starters, we still got Lexi Hall into the starting lineup. Mitchell, Wheeler, Smith, and Boston. Boston has been popping off. I hate the fact that I was not on Boston 2 days ago because she literally spanked the Washington Mystics. It was crazy. Going over to the Sky. Biggest thing that we got to pay attention to and note is that Clea Copper, she is expected to miss today. Now, I'm a little conflicted because I'm seeing things that are saying that she was at practice, but James Wade, Geodude, has come out and said that she is expected not to play today. So I'm going to hold him to his word. Hopefully she does not play, because if she doesn't, then it means that Dana Evans is going to slide into that starting lineup. And with Dana Evans into the starting lineup, I don't see how you don't go there. We've seen what she's already done going up against this Fever team, and the fact that your 6th woman, technically, is going to be slid into the starting lineup, that starting role, and we know she's a firecracker whenever she gets the minutes and gets going. I like that. She's, of course, priced down into the mid-tier range, which is a really great value on today's slate. And honestly, you could probably pay down for her and then pay down for another player, like maybe like Alexi Hull or, someone else in some of these other games like that, or pay up for whoever you think inside this last game, things like that to get yourself there. But I think Dana Evans already, if you don't watch anything else in this video, just understand Dana Evans, she's a great play for today's slate, especially for the fact of if she's going to start into that Clea Copper role, it's going to be a smash spot for her right here in this position for today. Other than that, same bunch that's been out for the Sky, still out. And then moving over to the Storm, they got all their players back. They've been mixing around, playing around with their starting lineups. Last time we seen that they put Ivana into the starting lineup, which kind of expected it, kind of called it, was looking at that. She started the second half of the game prior. Before that, she started this last game, and their offense is looking better along with their defense. So Storm taking on the Aces. Aces are still expected to win. I would expect the Aces to win this game, but I'm not going to sleep on the Storm because they're looking finally better as the season is starting to go on. And that's been a big thing that we've been wanting and waiting for the Storm to finally actually go ahead and do. Then for the Aces, of course, Raquan Williams, she's still out, so nothing new. Same starters as always for them. Nothing else really going right there. If we want to look at the game totals real quick, going over to Line Star, site that I use in regards to just digging into the history and things like that. This is not a plug for Line Star. I'm not partnered with them, but if you want an account, it's some pretty fair pricing over here for them as well. Highest total on the slate, of course, is going to be that 168.5 total for the Storm taking on the Aces, but it is a 17.5 spread. They're expecting to blow them out. I am not in the business to predict blowouts. You shouldn't be either. With that being said, this is one of the bottom teams in the league facing the top team in the league. Blowouts can happen, but sometimes, and we have seen it, the Aces have played down to the competition. So that 17.5, I'm going to bump it down to maybe about like a 9-10 in regards to the spread. I do still expect the Aces to win. They are on their home turf. They've been off for quite some time. So well rested, ready to go in this game. We're going to see how that rocks and rolls for the Storm. Second highest total is going to be the Dream taking on the Sun, which is actually really interesting to see that for the fact that the Sun, they do kind of play at a little bit of a slower pace, and we do know the Dream, they are, of course, fast. So that's two styles of play meshing, hitting with each other right there. But 8-point spread, of course, I do still think the Dream can keep this game close. They've been playing much better over the past couple of games, change up their starting lineup as well, things of that nature. Still very interesting for them. And then the last game is going to be the Fever and the Sky. This is a 159 total. This game, I'm actually kind of shocked that the total is so low. This is two actual fast-paced teams. So I would expect this total, I kind of would expect this total to be the second highest total. But they got this one as the closest of them all, so I wouldn't mind stacking this game if you're looking at game stacking and things of that nature, because this is two teams that kind of little slouches on the defensive end, still trying to figure out their identities and stuff like that, especially for the Fever, but something that we can definitely go to and look at. Going over the DraftKings, the site that I'm winning all this money on, and if you want to come over here and join the winning crew over here on DraftKings, check down the link in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus. Come over here and play on DraftKings with me, and you guys can get these scores, not only my core, but Ram, he puts out his scores, BK is putting out his scores, and you're getting breakdowns, not only my video breakdown, but you're getting the text breakdown. BK, he does his own breakdown, he has his own analysis for the slate, just like I do, so you guys get all that. Check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. $10, promise you make that back. All right, I'm gonna go game by game. I've been liking the game by game breakdown over doing the high tier, mid tier, low tier. Again, if you guys want me to go back to that, tell me down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys actually prefer. If you like the game by game breakdown, I will continue to do this way. So first game, of course, we got the Dream taking on the Sun. Up at the top, of course, you got AT, Bonner, Jones, Rainey, Cheyenne Parker, Alicia Gray. I'm not going to tell you not to play AT. AT, she's a triple-double upside anytime she's on the slate. She's going into a matchup that she should go ahead and dominate once again. We did just see them play the Dream before they went on their break for the past, 4 days almost. She went out there. She dropped 17 points, 3 steals, 8 assists, 12 rebounds. I don't expect the 17 points again. I do expect her to at least score in that double-digit scoring range because this is what Alyssa Thomas, she can go out there and do. Of course, I expect a double-double. Now the rebounding, I kind of think that was a little inflated just due to the fact that Brianna Jones, she did get into herself into some early foul trouble. She only played 27 minutes, hoping she can bounce back here in this spot, maybe get her 30 minutes back again. Even in those 27 minutes, she still was able to go out there and drop 18 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals. This matchup going up against Cheyenne Parker, who, of course, lives in the paint. She really doesn't have the most reliable three-point shot. If she needs to, she can take it, or that mid-range game. So Brianna Jones being able to get in there, gobble up those rebounds, and be able to back down, get those easy bunnies, those easy shots, and get to the free throw line, which he's very good at doing. And we do know that the Dream, they do foul quite a bit. If you're not going to pay up for AT, you can definitely come down here and pay for Jones. No problem at all with that at all. And then, honestly, if you just want a piece of it, definitely just play Jones over AT. But, of course, cash game-wise, I'm going to always go with Alyssa Thomas just because the usage, everything that she does for the team is there. It's going to be there. And then if you want that GPP flair, that low ownership sometimes, I don't know why Brianna Jones gets this all the time, but Brianna Jones, she's definitely up to par in regards to pivoting down to her. DeWanna Bonner sitting at 9.8. I really kind of felt like this is a spot that we got to pay up for guards. She dropped 27 fantasy points in this last time in 28 minutes. Biggest thing that I have to keep in mind going for this game is the fact that last time, Tiffany Hayes, she was in foul trouble. She picked up quick fouls, 5 fouls, only played 11 minutes. I do not expect her to come out here and play only 11 minutes again in this spot. I expect her to actually play more towards her 25-ish, 28 minutes that she should get a game, which is, of course, going to take some of those shots, some of that usage and everything from everyone else in the starting lineup. And let's not forget, this is quote-unquote a revenge spot for Tiffany Hayes. She did play for the Dream for many, many years before going over here and moving over to the Sun. So Tiffany Hayes, I will have some interest. I'm not really too high on Bonner at 9.8. I'd rather just go ahead and find the value or the salary to maybe pay up for like a Plum or Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd, Maria Marbury. There's plenty of other guards I'd rather go to and play in this spot. DeWanna Bonner, I called the big game that she was able to have going up against the Aces. Figured that was going to happen. It was only a matter of time before she finally popped off, and she did that. I'm gonna wait my time, wait till it looks to it's gonna be about that right time to jump back on the Dewana Bonner train. But for right now today, I don't think that's gonna be it right there. Rainey, hit or miss in regards to what she's going to go out there and give you. Right now, she's not going to give you nothing less than 20-something fantasy points. This matchup, last time playing up against the Sun, she dropped 27.5 fantasy points, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. They've been shaking up the starting lineup. Right now, they got my girl, Haley Jones. She's been thrust into the start lineup, played 37 minutes going up against the Liberty last time, played 32 going up against the Sun. Didn't have the best game, only had 11 fantasy points. I'm expecting a little bit more of a bounce back, simply for the fact of she's getting the minutes. That was the biggest thing that I had about Haley Jones, especially when that value was there for us when she was sitting at that 4K, 3K range. I was like, if she's going to get the minutes is when she's going to pop off. And sure enough, she's starting to slowly get those minutes, and we're seeing it, especially with the injuries and everything, and the fact that she does have that playmaking chops, and she's a big guard. She's big. She honestly slides more as that small forward type role that she can go out there and play. But I like her. I like her here. I don't mind Rainey, but at 9.5, again, I just think there's other guards in better spots that we can go to if we're going to pay up for guard today. Right here, I don't feel like I have to have her, but definitely a GPP type play that we can go to. Cheyenne Parker will have some interest. Definitely on the plate. Dropped 43.5 fantasy points, 20 points, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 14 rebounds. Now, we have been seeing that centers going up against the Sun have actually been having some pretty decent games. They're allowing 4.6 field goals to them. It says they're only giving up 25.8 fantasy points to them, but I think that Cheyenne Parker will beg to differ with that 44 that she just dropped on their heads not too long ago. Now, looking at last season, she didn't have the best games because she wasn't playing those minutes. Looking at whenever she's actually able to get those upper tier minutes in the 20s, she's doing pretty good. I don't hate going back to her here at the spot at 9-1. But if you rather pay it for like a Leah Boston, Alyssa Smith, Alana Smith, definitely is in the cards, as in this should be a tougher matchup for her here. I'm not going to expect another 44 or 43 fantasy point game. We do know they've been leaning on her quite a bit. I don't hate going to her, but she's going to be GPP if you're thinking about it. Definitely going to be GPP for me. Alicia Gray, don't hate going to the spot. 8.6, I think that's very reasonable. Good price for her. She was at 8.6 the last time she played them. Dropped 18 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, got 3 steals, and dropped 34 fantasy points in this spot. Going up against the Sun, we know that she's going to draw that Wnba defense. She's going to maybe get a little bit of Tiffany Hayes defense. Definitely in a spot where she can go ahead and go out there and produce and pop off and do her thing. Seeing that they are giving up some pretty good assists to the point guards out there. And in her history, when she was back with the Wings, we've seen that she was able to have some pretty decent games going up against them. I don't hate it. Definitely a value mid-tier spot if you land on her and if you have to go there. Already talked about Haley Jones. Tiffany Hayes, I think she's might get slept on today. 7,200 bounce back spot. We know that Hayes, if she can get the scoring and stuff going, we know she can do it on the steals and stuff like that. If she's going ahead and playmaking, she can go out there and drop you a very nice game. She had that ceiling game, 34.75 fantasy points, dropping 22 points on the Fever. Definitely think she could do that once again here going up against the Dream, especially after only playing 11 minutes. This is a prime spot for her to bounce back. All right, she was in foul trouble last time. I'm not expecting 5 fouls again. Definitely will have some interest in Hayes. Heidemann, it's a bounce back spot for her as well, but I'd rather go with Hayes if I got to go with anything. Coffee, I really don't ever play her just because she's hit or miss, and really she's just whenever she's out there. Sporadic minutes, not really someone that I look to or go to. We'll have some interest in Asia Durr. If she's going to get her shot falling, we know that she will produce at 5.5. Great value on the slate. Pretty much going to be playing that 6-woman role. Your backup point guard coming off the bench. The assist numbers, I would like to see those go up. But again, for Asia, it's long as she's getting that scoring to go, she's going to be a prime candidate to actually go out there and put up some numbers and do some damage. So at 5.5, definitely will have some interest in her. And then for some reason, Rebecca Allen, I keep landing on this name. I don't know why. I know she dropped 38.25 fantasy points going up against the Aces in that one game. Didn't really do too much last time they played the Dream. 19 minutes, only gave us 4 fantasy points. Another player that I think can bounce back, sitting at 4.9. I don't hate it. There's another player that's a little bit lower than her that I would rather probably go to if I'm paying down a guard. But Allen, she's getting consistent 20-ish minutes a game. Definitely can take a chance on her if you're really looking for some different type of value to get really different out there. Billings, Odo, players I'm not really too interested on at all. Hillman, you can take a flyer on her, but really she's not been looking too great in her time out there. Carrington, if you feel like this game is going to get out of hand, definitely can go there. Her minutes too are pretty sporadic. Yes, going up against the Dream last time she played 22 minutes. keep in mind, Tiffany Hayes was in foul trouble. She had 5 fouls, only played 11 minutes. Those minutes had to go somewhere else. Carrington was a prime benefactor to that. So I'm not going to expect another 22 minutes unless someone's going to get in some crazy foul trouble. But I will have Carrington on my radar just for the fact of I know she can go out there. She's a firecracker as well. She can do it all. She stuffs the stat sheet in all categories, but not someone that I'm having to shove into my lineups for tomorrow. For today, sorry. Going over to the next game, we got the Indiana Fever taking on the Chicago Sky. Another game that should be pretty close. Again, we got to pay attention to that Copper news because if Copper's going to be out, then of course that's going to bump Evans into starting lineup. And like I said, 6-7. That right there, prime value. Just go ahead and lock it in. If Copper is out, we already know that she is a firecracker. When she's out here, she will go out here and she will deliver. The scoring takes her a minute to get it going, but she will get it going. But she doesn't have to rely on just her scoring. She will play make. She will be gritty on the defensive end. She can go out there and get a couple of rebounds. And she is a three-point specialist when she's locked in and can knock down that three-point shot. I like going to Dana Evans at 6'7". I just think she's going to be, of course, the chalk value on today's slate for the fact of she's so cheap. And I just don't see why you just don't go ahead and go to it at 6'7". It's all about finding that value. But I'm beating a dead horse. Just pay attention to the Copper news. That's going to be the biggest thing. Aaliyah Boston in this spot. She was kind of the savior last time they played the Sky. She dropped 25 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 1 steal, and just looked dominant out there in her time. She gave Elizabeth Williams and Alana Smith all the work, all the business that they can handle, and she's honestly has been playing very great over the past couple games. She gave Austin the business when 2 days ago, playing against the Mystics, dropped 23 points, 14 rebounds, 54.5 fantasy points, and just was dominant out there. And she's looking very good, more comfortable out there, and her minutes are looking more reliable. That's been the biggest thing for me. Is she going to get those reliable minutes? Now, she's playing 30-ish minutes. I like that at 10-4. I do not hate going to her. We know the matchup for her is going to be there. Once again, of course, playing versus the Sky, and coming out here, the Sky currently right now, they're giving up 28 fantasy points per game to centers. That might actually be a little bit more. And she just literally just dominated them last time out, 48 fantasy points. Looking at who the Sky have played over the past couple games, we can go ahead and just rattle off their centers. Asia Wilson, great game. NECA, great game. Going up against the Fever, of course, we know what she just did. Jonquil Jones and Brianna Stewart, boom, both of them popped off great games. Cheyenne Parker. Let me actually see. Well, let's see what did Parker go ahead and drop directly in this spot, going up against the Sky. Going up against the Sky, Parker, she went out there. She dropped 24.5 fantasy points, and she did that in 21 minutes. So pretty much a fantasy point per minute. So we know the Sky can be susceptible to the center position. So Aaliyah Boston, definitely a really great spot that we can go to and play her here in the spot. Now, the other player that I think we should probably consider and might be a little bit lower owned, people aren't going to really be flocking to her or worried too much about her, is going to be Nalissa Smith. Last time out going up against the Sky, she did not perform. She only had 19 minutes, 3 fouls, 10 points, 5 rebounds. She's hit or miss in regards to what she's going out there and doing. I think this is a spot that you can get crazy in GPPs. Maybe fade Boston, play Nalissa Smith, hope that she has a pop-off game. But overall, Boston's going to be for cash games. Nalissa Smith is going to be that GPP player type. With Copper being out, Marbury, of course, she's going to step up a little bit more. She's going to have that scoring load. Definitely can play make a little bit more. I don't hate her. She's going to get that whole defense or Tiffany Mitchell, either or, one of those two. Definitely 9K. Don't hate the spot for her. Will definitely be cash consideration just to the fact that Copper is out. Elena Smith, we have seen her pop off in big games. The defensive stats that she's doing, I'm a believer. She's having a great freaking season. She's popping off left and right. The scoring, when the scoring is there and what she's doing on the rebound, the assist, blocks, steals, and it adds up, and that's how we get these 40-plus fantasy point games. Now, biggest thing to keep in mind is the fact that this game right here went to overtime. All right, the last time that they played, it was an overtime game. So, but still, she had 40.75 fantasy points in 39 minutes. I expect her to go back down to playing about her 30 to 33 type minutes a game that she should go out there and play. With Copper being out, maybe those rotations might tighten up a little bit, or we might see a little bit more of a bench run. Especially, you have to consider we're moving Evans into the starting lineup. Who's going to be that sixth woman? Who's going to be coming in, taking up those bench minutes and roles and stuff like that? Or is the rotation just going to be shortened? Either or. I do like Elena Smith. I think she's in another great spot. Go out here, dominate, do what she's done over the past couple times, especially if Elizabeth Williams goes out here and drops and doesn't have a great game. She played 30 minutes, overtime game, remember, but she only had 20.75 fantasy points. I don't hate Elizabeth Williams in the spot. She just hasn't been popping off like what she did to start the season. She's been hit or miss in regards to what she's going out there and doing. Um, I know that centers they've been decent going up against the Fever as well, but with Boston actually popping off, finally figuring out, getting her footing, might not be a spot that I go with Elizabeth Williams, but definitely going to be on my radar. I do like Elena Smith over her if I'm having to choose between the two. Courtney Williams, can't go wrong with her, 8-2. Maybe she might step it up with the fact that Copper's going to be out. She hasn't had a really big game over the past couple of games. GPP for me, I'd rather go with Marbury, or once again, my cash lock of the day is going to be Dana Evans. That is the cash lock of the day. She is the lock of the day. Just understand, that is my lock of the day. Will be in almost every single one of my lineups. Evans will be in all my lineups. Book it here. You will not see a lineup that I have that's not going to have Evans in it. Let me not lie. You might see one lineup that's not going to have Evans in it, but most of my lineups will have Evans in it. She's going to be just that own for me, especially if Copper is out. Coming out here, of course, Erica. I never play her. Wallace, interesting, but I mean, it's the minutes. If she's gonna get the minutes to burn, she has been playing some pretty significant minutes off the bench. It's been a very strange rotation in regards to Hull, Wallace, and Vivens. All of them rotating. It's kind of who has the hot hand. I do have some interest in Hull here. Came off of a 22 minutes going up against Washington, dropped 18.25 fantasy points. Last time when she played the Sky, she had 23.25 fantasy points. That was in 24 minutes. I'm not going to expect that 23.25, but if she can give me something around that 18 to 20ish range, I do like her here in the spot. It just seems like it's a good position for her to actually go ahead and repeat. Scoring wise, defensive wise, rebounding, I will have some interest at that 4-6 range. That is interesting. Cone, probably going to see some more extra minutes. Same thing for Park and Hillsman, just for the fact of, like we said, with Evans moving into the starting lineup. Let's look a little bit deeper. I'll go ahead and let's see team trends, because I like to look at these type of things, especially if we're looking at it. Let's look at the minute distribution. So the fact that Copper, this is all of Copper right here. We're going to take out that 32 minutes that Copper's going to play, and we already seen that Dana Evans was already playing 20-ish, 26, 30-ish minutes already a game as it is. This game right here, I'm not even going to pay attention to it just for the fact of this was the overtime game. Looking at the bench, pretty much their bench rotation, they're running a 8-woman rotation. So now that you're going to take Copper out, maybe we might see a 7-woman rotation, or Hillsman might have to actually get some of those minutes. But I'm going to be leaning on the fact that Parks is going to see these minutes, Cone is going to see these minutes, and Sully is going to see these minutes. Copper being out, let's bump Evans up to, like I said, that let's go ahead and just give her 6 more minutes. So we're going to put her dead at 32 minutes. So she's at her 32 minutes. That still right there is going to leave the fact that we just took 6 minutes from what Copper was going to be out there playing and getting. That still leaves us with 26 minutes that we got to distribute between everyone else. Yes, they might go ahead and pump it into maybe Courtney Williams, Marbury, things like that, and bump them up. Maybe Elena Smith might see a little bit more minutes, but these bench players, solely she might actually see some more Cone and Parks. So I will have to have some interest in the bench players for the Sky. Not going to be the top of my list, but solely maybe she might actually come out here and actually do something. She played 13 minutes last game, didn't do a lick of split, nothing. Definitely a GPP, very deep GPP if you're actually considering and looking at that as something that you want to go to right there. Going over to the last game on the slate, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of these breakdowns. Drop a like if you are enjoying this content, and let me know so far, who do you think is going to be that top forward play on today's slate. I love targeting the forwards. Those are the players that I feel like always pop off and definitely kind of give you that upside. And if you can find that one guard that's going to pop and really just make you different, 9 times out of 10, you taking out something, But subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so already, and definitely check out the content over on the Patreon if you guys want to go ahead and cash out with me and everyone else over at the No Days Off family. Going over to the last game, the Storm taking on the Aces. Like I said, the Storm, I'm not going to sleep on them. They have looked much better over the last couple games. They have been playing much better. They've looked like a team that's gelling, and they're figuring out as the season continues to go. We've seen a shakeup in regards to their starting lineup, because now you have Lloyd, Easy, Horston, Nurse, and Ivana are your starting lineup. Sammy Whitcomb is playing that 6-woman role. Turner, she's seeing sporadic minutes. Russell, same thing with her. They're really relying decent minutes in regards to the starters that they're having out there. Going ahead and pulling it up, and you can actually just see where all the minutes in concentration is. It's primarily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a good 6-woman rotation, because Nurse, she's a starter and she's out there, she's burning that oil, and that's what we're gonna actually go out here and see. Looking at it, you can't go wrong with Asia Wilson. She's had the time off. You know how dominant she is. Going up against Easy, first game of the season, she went out here. She dropped 35.25 fantasy points and did that in only 27 minutes. With some time off, a couple of days of rest, back at home, I could definitely see her popping off, breaking Slate if she needs to or wants to. Definitely cash game player, but I don't feel like you have to go there, especially if you're worried about a blowout. I'm not gonna say that you have to. You don't have to. If you want to take a flyer, and I've been considering this myself, Candace Parker at 8-7. I normally would not go to Candace Parker. I know she's capped at pretty much 23-ish minutes is what she's typically been playing, but I can't ignore the fact that she's had pretty good games going up against them, and when she's locked in, I'm talking about locked in on the defensive end, getting her shots to fall, just getting getting me that double digit scoring that I know she can. But when she's dishing the rock, she's rebounding and she's blocking shots or getting some steals, I have to consider her. She's looking pretty decent out there. She's not the lockdown defender that she once was back in the day, but pretty decent matchup. She's going to be going up against Horston. If anything, still, I think Park can go out there and do her thing in the 23 minutes that she has at 8-7. She's the GPP play because I'm not going to endorse her for cash, but I will have some interest in Parker if I'm not going to play Asia Wilson. That's my spiel on that one. Coming out here, Lloyd, you already know what Lloyd's going to go out there and do. Lloyd is Lloyd. That first game going up against them, she dropped 39.5 fantasy points, and she only shot 7 of 25 from the field. 7 of 25, and still was able to drop 39.5 fantasy points. They're going to need Lloyd. We already know it's a three-headed monster for the, well, it's actually evening out more now for the Storm, but it's typically been a three-headed monster. Primarily, it's going to be Lloyd. She's going to go out there. She's going to get her shot. She's going to do what she has to do. Then it's going to be Easy. I feel like this is actually going to be a tougher matchup for Easy in this spot. That first game of the season, she went out there, played 29 minutes, only dropped 19.75 fantasy points. I know she's been pretty steady and consistent, but look at whenever she actually plays against a team that's pretty good at defending the center position, she only dropped 30.25 fantasy points. Sitting at 10-2, there's other fours in the spot that I definitely feel we can go around, or pay up and get to. I don't feel like this is a easy game. Asia Wilson's defense is actually pretty good. I don't feel like we have to try to get Easy in this spot, but we'll definitely consider Lloyd. Gray coming off of some pretty good days of rest, definitely going to have to be in consideration. That first game of the season dropped 32 fantasy points in 32 minutes, so pretty much a fantasy point per minute. But at 9-4, of course, I will personally and will always rather pay down for my girl Jackie Young, who is just a dynamite and just awesome. She's had plenty of time for that ankle to go ahead and heal up. Should come out here, bounce back game, and pop off. We've seen that first game of the season drop 37.75 fantasy points in 26 minutes. Now, imagine if she actually gets all of her minutes and burn that she normally gets, because she's one of those guards that they run out there for about 32 to 35 minutes a game. Definitely between her and Plum, I do have some interest. Jackie Young, of course, for me, is always going to be cash safe, just because she's more consistent in regards to the fact that she does everything. Plum, unless her shot is falling, really she's kind of hit or miss in regards to what else she's going to go out there and give you. But I will have some interest in Plum as well. But for GPPs, for me, Jackie Young cash, Plum is a GPP. Of course, we're going to have some interest in Horston, Nurse, Sam Wickham, and Ivana. Ivana, to me, is going to be cash safe for the fact of I've been waiting for her to get the burn in the minutes. I was on her last slate when she was at 3,500. I was kind of expecting for her to start, and the price jump up to 6K. Still, if you're telling me a player has a safe-ish floor with the minutes that she's getting for about a 20 to 25 fantasy point game at 6K, I'm not going to hate that. At 6K, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, you want 30-ish fantasy points if you're trying to look for the 5X. But if I'm looking for 4X, which is typically what I'm looking for over here in cash games on DraftKings, she's going to be able to go out there and get me that at that 6K range if she's going, be able to get that burn and run. I'm not too scared in regards to the guards. I don't feel like she's going to get that Chelsea Gray defense or the Jackie Young. Maybe she might actually get Plum. So we'll definitely have some interest in her here. And then, of course, Horston sitting at 8-4. Went out there. She played 33 minutes, dropped 34.5 fantasy points. The scoring, the rebounding, all that is there for her. We're expecting for Easy to have a hard game. Horston is playing the power forward position. I like Horston to step up, especially on that rebound end, and go out there and just give her the business for Candace Parker, and be able to pick up the slack that Easy's going to have, and maybe some of the slack that Drew Lloyd, if she's actually being defended and locked down by Chelsea Gray. So definitely we'll have some interest in Horston. And like I said, Ivana, if I'm having to pick between anyone down here, it's going to be Ivana. If you're expecting this game to be a blowout, you could definitely look at Kia Stokes, the first game of the season, 23 minutes, dropped 14 fantasy points, sitting at 5'9". I don't hate it. Same thing for Clark, 5'4". I don't think she played. She did. She played 22 minutes, dropped 17.75 fantasy points as well. So you already know they're going to get their 17 to 20ish minutes a game. If the game blows out, they're going to see more run than that. So you could definitely come down here to Stokes and Clark if you want to. Russell, going to be a fade for me. Yvonne Turner, definitely another fade. Melbourne, 6-woman role. If you think she can go out here and pop, give you about 23.75 fantasy points at 4-2. GPP flyer, but not someone that I'm high on. Everyone else down here, the last one is going to be Kirsten Bell. Again, if we're expecting this game to blow out, then we're expecting Bell to go out here. In 5 minutes, she dropped 8.75 fantasy points against them. We've seen whenever she actually gets the double-digit minutes and burn and run, she can go out there and be pretty productive. She's going to jack up her shot, which is one thing I've noticed whenever I watch her play. She's just jacking up. She's looking for shots. She's just going out there. She's shooting. So she's pretty much a Raquana Williams when she's out there. That's probably why they're not too worried about having Raquana being back just yet anyway. But definitely don't hate going to Kirsten Bell if we're going for anything here. Down here as a cheap, if you got to go to it. But that's going to be the breakdown for me. If you guys are still have not subscribed, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of these videos, these breakdowns, things of that nature. If you want to play over here with me on DraftKings, make sure you check down the link in the description below for that deposit match bonus so you guys can go ahead and match up to whatever it is that you deposit so you guys can go ahead and cash out on the winning team over here on the